Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal. As you can see here, I've gone through and named some of our more commonly used mechs. Mostly, this is so that when we have a bunch of stuff in the queue, you can see if you've given a name to a mech, that name is what shows up on the queue items, which is very helpful. Also, I'm pretty bummed out that the character limit for the names was one character too short to make the Killa Eternal fit, but I just jammed it in there anyway. This crab is sort of like the mascot now of our company, I feel like, so it has to have a name that's in step with the company name. Alright, I think we should probably let the crab get repaired. So let's spend a day in orbit here, just working on that. And then you can see I've got some designs set out for a couple of our new mechs. There's also the Warhammer and the Marauder. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with the Marauder yet. We definitely want to use it. I do know what I want to do with the Warhammer, but I'm not going to do it yet because it involves pulling some pieces out of the Griffin. So we'll do that next time we're in transit between worlds. For right now, I think there's a little bit more money to be made here yet. So if we want to jump into the next hardest thing, I suppose we could go down here and capture some production. We've discovered that the local pirate organization has reactivated an old manufacturing facility in this system. To maintain the balance of power, the Capellan Confederation needs to capture this facility. Make a surgical strike, occupy the base, got it. Surgical is a weird word to use when you're talking about giant robots, but I get what they mean. So... I'm so conflicted. It's always so hard to know. Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. This is going to drop our pirate rep down to a place I'm not comfortable with, isn't it? Yep, it is going to drop us down to -40. At some point, the pirates are going to hit us up for a new entry fee for the black market. If they do that while we're all the way down below disliked, it's going to be very expensive, like to the point where we probably won't be able to afford it. I really don't want to lose access to the black market. It feels really bad not to do the jobs, but maybe we just shouldn't do any jobs here that hurt our pirate rep. Okay, we could do these other two. We'll just leave capturing production alone for the moment. Alright, the target we'd like your people to eliminate. Hold on a second. We should probably do the 3.5. Commander, this mission should be simple. A Capellan noble is participating in a patrol as a show of support for the troops. She's insisted on using her ancestral family mech, which is a cicada. This should make eliminating her very easy. Recognizing the danger, her handlers have sent along an extremely heavy supporting lance. If you're quick and aggressive, you should be able to destroy her little cicada before her escorts can react. I think that is likely to be true. That said, we will also kill her escorts, obviously. How much priority salvage do we want? We're giving up like 213,000 C-bills per. Let's take 3 pieces. I'm going to be honest with you, there's definitely an element of like just arbitrarily going, that seems fine to all of this. So this is another desert biome. I think we probably just want to bring the Centurion. We could take Thumper. I've renamed our Mortarman Thumper because I felt that was appropriate. His heat efficiency is quite high. The AC-10 Plus is still like a perfectly good weapon. I sure wish we had an AC-10 Plus that had just raw plus damage on it. The difference between 60 and 61 is so large due to the fact that all mechs have 61 head health. But there's a lot to be said for the Barrage Centurion, as opposed to the other Centurion, which has been renamed WC for Weak Centurion, and also because it's kind of a toilet compared to the rest of our mechs. No, we're gonna take this one and we're just gonna manage the heat in a professional manner. Oh, I also renamed Crackle to Uncrackable. I thought about Uncrackleable, but there's a character limit and stuff. So I think we'll just stick with that. Who do we want to put in here? Nobody else really has the gunnery skills that we can play Sourdough. Sourdough's fine. Extra point of initiative. Is this the way we want these pilots arranged? No, we probably want to put Tire Fire in the one with the UAC if we're going to have such a big gunnery difference. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that. I'm a little bummed out that that means the 2 pilots with sensor lock are in the 2 long-range mechs, because that's very non-ideal. But we really do need heat management on the other 2, so we'll just go like this for now. I'll tell you what we could really use is a pilot who has coolant vent and also sensor lock. That might be a thing that's worth building up. We really do need, still, like, in addition to the fact that we need other pilots so that we can increase the amount of total XP that we are worth and thus get more score, we do need more pilots so that we can have a larger number of combinations of skills. We should try to have everything represented at least once, ideally. We get bogged down in fighting the escorts, we can run away, but obviously we'd like to stay in, at least until we can get a reasonable 3 points of guaranteed salvage. I don't know, this is only a 3.5 skull, it should be a little bit easier, but then again, you can never tell with these skull ratings. They don't always mean the things you might think they would mean. Anyone who sends their VIP out in a cicada is asking to be shot. Hey, do you have anything helpful to offer, Yang? Those little bastards are fast, so watch for the VIP to make a run for it. That's true, they are pretty fast.
This whole planet could use an air conditioner.
That's alright, I'm pretty sure that we can burn a cicada down in a single turn worth of fire. Once it's time to actually shoot at it.
You betcha.
Wow, we discovered everything right away. Okay.
Prime spot for an ambush. Be careful, Commander. You don't want to get caught in a crossfire.
Well, I'm currently being ambushed. It is definitely the case that none of these are the VIP. I think I'm going to just reserve, because I think the Griffin can handle the damage. 7 points of evasion works pretty well for not getting murdered. You can see me, but I can't see you. That's not ideal. Do we want to try to reserve down past the cluster of 2s? I think I'm going to. I think we have enough evasion that we should be okay. Alright. LRM-5's over there. It's a pretty good way of stripping a point of evasion. So that's probably the cicada. I'm pretty sure cicadas move on 3. Oh, I can't quite make it into the trees over here. That's a real shame, because that's definitely what I want to do. Can we move anybody else to a position where they can see? Ah, okay. Take this, I think. What have we here? It's a Wolverine. Okay, so actually, not like a super weak mech. It's probably worth killing. Remove all of its laser weapons. Does it have additional SRM ammo anywhere? No, so if we hit that right torso, we disable everything except one. There's one laser somewhere. Okay, there's a medium laser in the head. Yeah, that right torso is almost all of its weapon systems. That said, I'm not going to spend the resolve on you. You just open up and strip evasion, maybe do some damage. If I'm just doing this to strip evasion, I'm not even going to fire everything.
Engaging with target. That didn't hit?
Thank you, Sourdough, I realized. I will let the Griffin absorb a little bit more. Alright, you, on the other hand, you are totally a viable candidate for the, what do you call it? For using the resolve. I don't really want to move forward to do this, but it looks like I don't really have a lot of choices here. Well, moving forward like this, at least... Yeah, this at least keeps me a little bit further away from whatever's down there. Alright, let's see if we get lucky. Okay, we got just enough hits to open up the armor and then nothing else. Hit the right area. Okay, this is going pretty well for us so far. They still have so many things moving on, moving on to. So is this the part where I reserve down? They have at least 2 more. I'm gonna do it. Here's hoping this doesn't really bite me in the ass. Okay, a lot of thunderbolts. Oh, straight through that arm. That's the dummy arm, though.
Can't take many more hits like that.
Okay, that's the arm that has the very valuable snub PPC in it.
Waiting for orders.
It's kind of crazy how
Waiting on you, Commander.
many catapults we're running into lately. So obviously that's bad. I want to try to get into a position where I can shoot more of my guns. You can shoot everything at that guy. Disappointing. Alright, we're gonna go like this. Oh no, wait, sorry. It's you that got hit, so we would lose the UAC 5. Yeah, okay. Well, that's still a problem that has to be resolved, but that's way better than losing the snub PPC, I think.
Engaging jump jets.
Please, 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 let me just, through blind luck, blow this guy's right torso off. Yes! Okay.
Enemy mech. Critical damage.
So he has one medium laser and
What can I do
punching.
for you?
Those are his options at this point. Which means I might just fire everything but the UAC at this guy. Let's just try to get lucky.
Got it.
Very little cost to a lot of that. Alright, we definitely need to pull the Centurion back.
Receiving you.
$48 resolve. It's still probably not you getting the resolve, unfortunately. I want to just shoot at this guy. I mean, we could probably knock him over. He has less than a point of stability left. I don't really want to put a ton more work into him, but I can't have him running around punching us. Yeah, and with this mech where we're not going to get a ton accomplished anyway, we may as well. Okay, very, very little damage to the center torso. It was like one missile hit. That is the UAC arm.
I lost a weapon.
Yeah, you sure did. Well, that's fun. You took just like a huge number of shots between your two turns there. It was I had no ability to avoid almost any of that. Well, there's no particular reason not to stay out in the open at this point, because I don't have any more stuff for them to hit off that matters anymore. I mean, obviously, like, I don't want to die, but... Yeah, medium laser went wild, and that's a shame, because that's exactly what we needed to finish the job. Alright, you are a good candidate for just shooting this dude right in his center. Or we could save it for the crab. And I could just shoot at this this other guy down here. Or maybe even, actually, just tap him with the snub PPC. So this is a K2. This is the one that we shouldn't have bought the piece of from the store, right? Yeah.
Engaging target.
Cool. That was not very good shooting. Okay, weird choice.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
This mission is definitely a lot harder than 3.5 Skulls. Having to fight 2 lances right on top of each other immediately, with each of them being a 3.5 Skull lance, makes the mission harder than 3.5 Skulls.
I hear ya.
And of course you can't quite make it into the trees there.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Alright, let's put... Or do I put you away? Now let's get this guy.
Got it.
Wow, I managed to hit center with neither of the UAC shots. That's really crappy.
Damage minimal.
Good to go.
That mech of theirs that operates on, yeah, that mech of theirs that operates on 5 only fired 5 LRMs at us last turn. I wonder why, if it has the capability to fire 6, or to fire 10, why didn't it just do that in the first place? That's pretty weird, right? Obviously, I want to try to maintain a direct shot, but I also don't really want to be where I am right now. Never mind. I guess I'm staying where I am right now. Do I want to split my fire? Because we can get a knockdown on that guy. Yeah, alright, let's, Oh, Sourdough doesn't have that. Right. I'm so used to Crackle driving this thing. You know what? Let's just give it all to him. Let's put him away. That's an important one. I'm annoyed about the loss of the UAC, but I would definitely be more annoyed about it if we were at a different point in the campaign. Because as it is right now, we're getting to the point where we might not have used that mech again, or at least not a lot. So your bar is completely full? Okay, so we only have to give him 1 LRM pod. What do we want to do with the rest of the mechs? Or with the rest of the weapons? I probably want to be shooting them at the catapult, right? So I move to, like, here.
Right, Commander.
Give the catapults almost everything, and give you 1 of these.
Affirmative.
And that'll give the Griffin a nice clean kill.
They've got a sensor lock on me.
Okay, not ideal. Not ideal for sure. Don't have to fire everything. Pretty unlikely to hit the catapult. I mean, I don't want to just stand still. But I definitely also don't want to give up my bulwark. I guess we're only going to get 1 point of evasion here. Oh, I should probably do it this way so that we... Oh, never mind. This is the slice. That represents the small laser range. I was trying to get him inside this larger slice out here. I guess it's still missile accuracy. So he has 55 center health, which means that I don't feel comfortable going with anything less than all the weapons. This is going to be overkill, but if we turned off the snub, there's too high of a chance that we don't get it.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Alright, that armor is starting to look a little on the thin side. There is no way that that thing can still be firing like that. It's got to be out of, it's got to be running real hot at the moment. Your left arm is also empty. So I can just throw punches. What do my hit chances look like? You know, honestly, those aren't that bad. Yeah, we heat vent, we precision strike, like... At this point, I'm just about trying to core him. I don't need to get fancy. We need to reduce the number of enemies. And he is dealing an awful lot of damage. I think it's better we do this. I really want to... Yeah, I really want to focus up my my big damage weapons. My single area damage weapons.
Tell me what to shoot.
Come on. Yes! Hit that ammo bin.
Should have run when you had the chance.
Okay, next turn we're going to throw a punch. because I don't have a lot of other tools available here.
Warning. Armor breached. Internal
Commander.
damage.
Alright, don't think we need to get particularly fancy on this one. This guy's already down to Initiative 2.
Confirmed.
And again, I think I do want him to be down on Initiative 1.
Knowledge.
And I'd love it if he was unsteady before the crab's turn. Let's see if we can make that happen. Would have been a lot easier if we still had the UAC. I don't know how much we're going to get to fire here. I'd really like to stay in cover, but I also really want to be shooting at his front. I mean, if we blow off his right arm, he loses almost nothing. I want to open up that armor. I think I'm going to take the jump in front here. Oh, well, hold on. I should probably be a little careful about this because I don't want to obstruct the crab's walking path, though.
Engaging jump jets.
We're definitely going to have to vent the coolant. I mean, if we can kill him now, that would be preferable. Boy, that snub PPC is having some real problems.
Warning. Enemy sensor lock detected.
Coordinates received.
I wish it wouldn't close that. Alright, I am not going to precision strike. Really? Man? Yeah.
Right, Commander.
Come on. Yes. Okay. We still have vision of poor Scandranin, though. But now at least we're only fighting 4 mechs at a time.
Warning. Armor breached.
This whole planet has turned out to be way more dangerous than the difficulty levels indicated it would be. And unfortunately, the crab's going to have to take the long run around here. So it's a 20-ton mech with a plus initiative pilot. You don't see that every day. Trying to bait out the sensor lock here and then have our pilots move afterward. Maybe they're just not going to sensor lock this time?
Waiting for my opening.
Guess they
Commander?
figured out that it was going to be a total waste. Alright, let's have you move down to here, I guess. We'll try to stay safe and we'll just sensor lock something. So 40 tons. 40 is a cicada, I believe. But let's try taking out this one.
Got a lock.
My thinking here is just that I want to limit the amount that they can get vision on us. I want to control the distance of the fight as much as possible.
Moving to position.
Doesn't take much to blow up a locust.
Locking on.
Come on, just a couple more hits. Ah, we didn't get there. Left him at 5. That would have made things really easy. I don't have a lot of incentive to jump up like that.
Engaging jump jets.
Probably we're just doing this in bracing.
I hear ya.
And the crab continues to run.
Waiting for orders.
There sure are a lot of PPCs in this mission. You'd think they would be leery of using so many given the heat conditions.
Standing by.
Guess things just aren't quite as dangerous for them as they are for us. Well, this is the same mech, and I'm going to do the same thing to it. We're gonna hollow out its center.
Got it.
We cannot have any more of this
Copy
noise.
that.
Armor breached. Internal damage.
Unfortunately, the poor Griffin is just, like, really not in a good position to be able to fire a lot of weapons. I'm wondering if I do want to show them my right arm. Left side's where all the missiles are, and they're pretty close to breaking through, but I really, really don't want anything to happen to that PPC. We have plans for it.
Waiting for orders.
I guess he doesn't need to go right now.
Moving to position.
I'm gonna not bother precision striking with her. I only have so much resolve, you know? Alright, unsteady, that's what I like to see. I wonder if maybe the move is to reserve, let the crab try to deal with the catapult, and then let the griffin figure out what's next after that. Kind of like that plan. That leaves me in front for another shot here, which is not totally ideal, but we're tough. I have faith. All right, I think we're pretty under control at this point. I think we've managed to solidify here. You are getting cored. That is happening. Okay, that'll do it.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
Was that lethal pilot damage? It's not what I was expecting to happen. So the cicada is off in the distance somewhere, it turns out. The assassin is not very dangerous. The locust is similarly not very dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and run in and show him the right side. We'll just hit him with whatever we can hit him with. And we're so much more likely to hit this guy. Can I give him everything? I can. Let's just core him if we can. Pretty good odds, I think. I didn't quite get there. $47 center health? That's a little bit of a frustrating number.
Good to go.
That means our AC5 can't quite get him.
On my way.
Well, if I go center, I'm sure if we get the AC5 hit, at least one of the missiles is going to follow up, right?
Taking the shot.
Okay. Wow, that was some extreme overkill. We really got him. Okay, one more turn until we have our coolant vent again, which is definitely going to be useful.
On my way.
Just give this guy a normal shot, I think.
Firing on target. Enemy down.
So we have the last ambusher, and then we still have the other enemy. That's also an 80-ton mech. I did not realize that we were still up against an 80-ton mech. Well, I'm going to make it come over here, or it's going to refuse to do that. That's also possible. What are we looking at here? An awesome 8T. That's a problem. That's a big mech. Tell me you keep your... Oh, you do keep your ammo in the center, you huge idiot. I think I'm not going to precision strike here, and if I can, I'll just fire the PPC. Alright, well, we'll fire just the missiles instead. I'm going to try to bank up a little bit.
Waiting on you, Commander.
It behooves us to approach
Double
here.
time.
We're probably just going to have the Griffin fall back on this one, actually.
Commander. Moving out.
So now we have enough for 2 precision strikes this turn. One of them should be saved for the crab. I guess you're the other one. I think that makes sense. And as much as it would be nice to bring home multiple pieces of an 80-ton mech, I think we're just going to try to burn this thing out fast. Alright, the thing they have that moves on 3 is the cicada, of course. Griffin, why don't you just take it back here, chill out for a little while. We'll call you back.
Commander?
We'll bring you back in when it makes sense to bring you back in. You were the only person who had vision, apparently. I thought the crab was close enough.
Sensors locked on.
No, all we lost there was basically a single large laser worth of damage, so I'm not too stressed about it. Damn it.
Special delivery!
Okay, well, we're in at least.
Receiving you.
Now, every hit is potentially the good one. Also, we might just do enough damage.
Hostile.
Kill confirmed, Commander.
Alright, 4v1. This is the kind of unfair that I'm a much bigger fan of.
What can I do for you? On my way.
I wonder if she's just going to run away. Because to be perfectly honest with you, if she does decide to just run away in this situation, I think she'd probably get away.
Holding for tactical advantage.
Oh gosh, she's doing it.
Good to go.
Can you get close enough? You cannot. Really
Affirmative.
wanted that sensor lock. Yeah, that's going to be a real problem.
Full throttle.
We're going to have to use the horribly wounded Griffin to have any chance at all of catching up to her.
Roger that. Full speed. Waiting on you, Commander.
Okay, 2 medium lasers and a small laser. Not exactly terrifying. Yeah, I don't really know that it's worth doing anything fancy here. Oh, that's not a very good start.
Primary target is taking damage.
And unfortunately, because she's not doing anything, she's entrenched, and she's going to be all difficult to knock over. I will also precision strike, even though it doesn't even make my shot very good. Okay, that's something.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Waiting for orders.
See, I want the direct shot, but I also want it unobstructed. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. 42. No, I'm going to go ahead and take this. I was going to save the
Here we
the
go.
rest of the resolve for the crab, but I missed with the large laser. Bad start.
That's a critical hit.
Hmm.
Good to go.
Can't say I understand that one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We're actually going to crit all of his weapons down.
Is making a break for it.
Well, I think it's a little bit too late for that.
Confirmed. Hostile eliminated.
That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I mean, a 4v8 is always going to be difficult, even when the mechs are really, really bad. And honestly, we kind of got one of the best versions of the 4v8 there, where they're at least all on one side of you. It can be considerably messier than that, if they're allowed to surround you. Okay, well, we should probably finish these 2 mechs, right? I think that's the responsible thing to do here. Wait. Are the K2s the one we didn't have the parts for? That being the case, maybe we take those 2 parts instead of finishing the Thunderbolt. I mean, listen, I like a Thunderbolt. I like a Thunderbolt quite a lot. But this is the Thunderbolt that doesn't have the ballistic weapon hardpoints on it, and I really like the ballistic weapons. And also, catapults are real good. We will see more Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts are extremely common mechs. They gave me one of the pieces anyway. Okay. I do like the Thunderbolt a lot, though. It's a very effective workhorse. 65 tons is like just big enough for it to have enough armor to be a real problem, even for like really big mechs. So we may want to just leave the planet. There's one mission left that we would really want to do. I wonder if it's worth waiting here until our mechs are in the good enough shape to do it. It's like you have to be completely refitted now. I don't even know what we're going to do with you. Honestly, we might strip out the large laser for parts. All right, hold on. We'll come back to this. So you're not in functioning shape. Even with a couple of days of repairs, you're not in functioning shape. If we're talking about doing another mission, we're talking about like Crab, that Centurion's on fine health. You took some serious damage. It's like Crab, Griffin, the weak Centurion, and like the Thumper Hunchback? What is the mission that's left? Because it pays pretty well, right? Yeah. It's a notorious killer for hire who goes by the name The Professional. They're currently under contract with Davian, spotted here on Krakatoa. This mercenary is cagey and cautious and will attempt to escape at any indication that they're overmatched. So the second they see our crab. I'd like you to land a low tonnage lance to engage them, to give them a false sense of security, and then eliminate them before they can escape. You know what? I don't know that I feel comfortable going for this. What are we talking about? When we say low tonnage, what do we mean? 60 tons per slot. So we'd have to run... we'd have... the only thing we could do here is run Hunchback, Phoenix Hawk, Centurion, and Jenner. You know what? I'm just going to bounce, I think, on this. I don't think we need to do this. So, let's talk about our mech designs. First of all, we're going to salvage some parts. Let's pull the large laser out of you. I know. Just process the work order. I know that we can't send it out into the battlefield like this. And then on you, I'm not going to bother putting anything back into these mechs. I'm just going to yank stuff out and we'll figure it out later. We're pulling your injury mod. We're pulling your snub PPC. I want the gyro. I think that's all we really need from you. Yeah, we don't need the small laser. Well, you know what? I'm going to pull all the special equipment and we'll see. We really did not come off of this planet with very much money.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
So we did end up having to buy the part of the C1, because all the catapults we saw after this point were K2s. So that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better. Alright, so let's talk about unit designs. The thing about the Warhammer is that it has these optimized capacitors that cause it to deal plus 20% energy damage. Obviously, it's pretty compelling to just stack it entirely with energy weapons. So it has 4 energy hardpoints, a ballistic, a missile, and 4 support hardpoints. Here's what I'm thinking of doing with it. We're gonna put this in and we're gonna see if it looks reasonable. I did some quick napkin math and I thought it seemed like maybe a thing we could do. That's an awful lot of damage right there, right? It's also all of the heat. It's a truly huge amount of heat. But it's pretty compelling, right? And then let's say we wanted to go all the way in on the gimmick. We go plus 10 damage medium laser, plus accuracy and crit medium laser. And then we would also, in the support slots, go small laser, small laser, small laser. Yeah, we have 4 plus 10 damage small lasers. Do we want to balance these out? I guess we could balance these out. So that if we lose one side of the mech, we don't lose all of our triple plus small lasers. Okay, So that leaves us with 15 tons. If this thing is going to use this loadout optimally, it's going to need a whole bunch of jump jets. We're also definitely going to want this cockpit mod. We're definitely going to want this heat exchanger, which reduces weapon heat by 10%. And this +2 melee hit gyro actually takes up 3 slots, so you are going to have to go in a side torso area. Or sorry, 2 hit defense, yeah. Alright, just 10% harder to hit. Then we're going to need some jump jets. Heavy jump jets are 1 ton each, as opposed to the small jump jets, which are a little bit different. So let's go ahead and do that. Just cap you out, and that leaves me with 9 tons of weight, which have to all be heat sinks, right? There's not really, I don't think there's really a choice there. Let's just say we cram heat sinks in here until we can't cram them in there no more. If we don't play with the armor on this thing at all, where does that leave us? 800 armor, so that's 40 total armor above the Griffin. It's about as tough as a Griffin. It's a little bit slower, only 4 jump jets instead of 5, but it, boy, sure can deliver some energy damage. And because we have 9 heat sinks, turns where we're not firing the big guns, we're actually gonna let off a tremendous amount of heat. So the Alpha Strike is 106. The heat exchanger is then reducing us by over 10 heat for 2 tons, whereas 2 tons worth of heat sinks would be minus 6 heat. The heat sinks will still be effective on turns where we don't fire everything, where the exchanger won't, but I think this is a good use of a thermal exchanger. I actually really like this idea. I think that maybe this is going to lead to some overcommitment. Let's remember, though, the snub PPCs do have a max range of 360, so we can kind of play at like half medium laser or half long laser range, and then on turns where we're able to jump in on people, we will be able to just like really let it go. This plan is why I named it Hard Light. I think that is a thing that we want to get done pretty quickly, because the Griffin is no longer functional.
I'll let you know when that's done.
And then I actually don't know what we want to do with the Marauder. I think the Marauder is a fascinating mech. Let's have a look at the thing here. So it's got this Lance Command mod, right? Plus called shot damage minus, or plus called shot reliability. Like I said, I'm assuming it makes it more likely that you'll hit the body part you're aiming for. And then minus 10% damage over the whole Lance. We can't not run the Marauder, right? So the question is, what range do we want to play it at? If we already have the Griffin, or sorry, not the Griffin, the Warhammer and the Crab trying to play close, I'm inclined to try to play this one a little bit further back. I would have taken that UAC-5, by the way. That would have been real good. So we could do something like that. We could run some like AC-5s and 10s. Yeah, they have it classed as a ranged assault. The default design uses 1 AC-5, 2 PPCs, and 2 medium lasers. I don't think that's very good. Hold on here. The PPCs are 7 tons, or 50 heat and 35 stability damage at an incredible amount of heat generated. These are very nearly the same amount of heat. They're a little bit heavier. But like, what if we ran 3 AC-5s? 7 tons. We can go 2 AC-5 ammo bins, and I think that'll be a reasonable amount, right? Because each ammo bin contains 15 rounds. So yeah, that's 10 full volleys of all 3 guns. And then we can also... we have 5 tons remaining. That firing group as a whole only produces 24 heat. We don't have any missile slots. We could throw on a couple of medium lasers just to give us some like mid-range brawling capability. These things cause 20 stability damage each, while these only do 10. So we are causing a lot less stability damage this way. On the whole, though, I definitely think this is a better build. So the question is... jump jets. Actually, one of the questions is jump jets. how many jump jets do we want? It's not 0, right? Because we have to get line of sight for these things. But to be perfectly honest, like, we're running a very cool mech here. Maybe we just throw on 3 jump jets and 2 medium lasers, or maybe even swap those numbers. We could run another... We have another one of these LB20X++s with the minus tonnage. I think that's probably not really going to fit the role this mech is in, though. Large laser is 5 tons? Yeah. I think we're better off with a couple of smalls. So let's go like... I guess we'll do one of these things where one side of the mech doesn't really have a lot of equipment in it. Let's see, we're looking at 48 heat on an Alpha Strike, but there will be a lot of turns where we're just not firing the medium lasers at all. And so now we have a question of, like, ammo bin versus 3rd laser versus 4th jump jet versus heat sink. I think it might be ammo bin, actually. I'd have to go to the store and buy one. I'm so happy they added this button that lets you pull stuff from the store while still in the mech design without having to exit it. That's such a good quality of life change.
New equipment available.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about losing that AC5, or the UAC5. That would have been really good. Right, so that's enough. Oh, are these... Oh, these are 1 ton each. What did I... I was at 75 already. Well, we can actually drop a jump jet. We could drop a medium laser instead. Let's drop a jump jet. We probably don't need 3. Okay. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Actually, looking at this, if we're going to be playing this thing back at AC5 range a lot, this guy might be a little too heavily armored. 175 core? I mean, like, obviously, we don't want this mech to get cored. But I'm wondering about maybe... Could we scrape a ton of armor off of this mech without me feeling uncomfortable about its armor level? We have an arm that has no reason to be heavily armored in the first place. Actually, I would say that that's true of both the arms. And then... This is a huge amount of center torso health. We don't really need all this back armor either. Who's ever going to get behind this thing if we're playing it out at those ranges? Let's do this. We'll put a little bit more back on the... I always feel bad taking armor off the center torso because it's, you know, full of important stuff. Actually, maybe we should relocate some more armor here onto this place where all of the bullets are. That should probably be covered a little bit more. Alright, I feel comfortable with that, and then that lets us throw the other jump jet back in. We Alpha Strike for plus 18, but a lot of the time we won't be firing the medium lasers. Yeah, I don't think that this is, like, the greatest design of all time, but this is definitely, it's useful. We gotta get some AC5 pluses or some AC10 pluses or something. It's also a very low-cost build. Alright, so the next thing to do is make sure that we've got everything we need from the store. Was there anything else I was planning on buying while we are here? We are very close to being able to finish that mech. I would like to buy the Cyclops 10Z part, but I think we maybe shouldn't spend any more money. We could buy the LB20X, it's not very expensive, but maybe we just hold off, because I think we're going to a black market world next, right? So maybe we just do that, show up with 2 million-ish C-bills, and see what we can make out of it. That is travel to Borden. Is Borden the name of the world we were going to already? I sure hope it is. I don't think that was my plan. I think I was going to go to Vard, but honestly, Borden's reasonable. Inner sphere level civilization, a black market. Yeah, we can do that. And at some point we're going to want to do the defector here. But the trip to Borden will give us a little bit of time to rebuild our mechs, and then we could do some relatively easy missions here, get strong, and then go hit the flashpoint. Alright, I think that's the plan. So let's talk about the mechs that I gutted. Also this Wolverine, I suppose. No, sorry. I want to do a proper refit on poor Scandrenin here. We've debeaked him a little bit. What would I replace the lost parts with? I mean, I guess we didn't actually end up needing the SRMs, so I might just put them back in. The good SRM launcher. And then, rather than the very effective snub PPC, it could just be a bunch of medium lasers, I suppose. And with the amount of weight we have left, I don't think I want to use anything heavier than that. How did I end up a half-ton off? Did we lose a jump jet or something? Was I actually at 5 jump jets? I probably was. Oh, right. There's only 4 slots in that arm. Well, let's throw in that other jump jet. Small jump jets are only half-ton each. And then we're definitely going to run 1 heatsink. And the question is, do we run a second heatsink? Or do we run 2 support weapons in that right arm? To be perfectly honest with you, probably we just run the heatsinks. And I don't know that it matters too terribly much where they end up. What am I... Apparently I just can't, like, see numbers today. Yeah, 1 extra heatsink. I think that's reasonable. This thing needs some heat control. It's definitely way less effective than it was. It's still 196 damage. We lost some stability damage output, though. That's a backup. Until we come up with the weapons necessary for a better design. You are fine. We'll just repair you. And then you lost a very big and powerful gun. So we have 14 tons left. This is really 14 tons? No, it was 9. What's the other 5 tons of stuff that we lost? Okay, we probably want to go... All I have left is that hard point. Is that right? And we could attach another laser in the mid section. Well, an AC-10, trading this out for AC-10 ammo, which only contains 8 rounds, so probably 2 bins of AC-10 ammo. Let's just put another medium laser in the center torso, and still leaves us at way less heat output than we were at before. The other option here, of course, is we could run an AC-5 in this slot. If we ran the AC-5, we're looking at 8 tons instead of 12. And we would only need 1 AC-5 ammo bin, so we're effectively saving 5 tons. We could drop the medium laser and put in a large laser instead then. That might be better. The damage difference between an AC-5 and an AC-10 is not so significant. But, like, being able to run this is probably right. That's what the other 5 tons was. I had pulled the large laser out of this mech. That's right. And then a heat sink. Or 2 more jump jets. It's a pretty big Alpha Strikes once again. So it's basically just gone back to what it was, except now it's a normal AC-5 instead of a UAC-5, which is really crummy. That's a big downgrade in effectiveness. We have had some trouble positioning this thing in the past, but it still has some LRM, so it's not totally critical. I think I'm going to put in another heatsink, actually. Okay. Let's get these things arranged in the build queue. We should probably talk about this Wolverine as well. Every time we get a new mech in, we have to first approve this paint job. I like it. Our company is very, like, white with hints of orange and red, rather than like, orange or red with hints of white. Ooh, I kind of like that design. It's got some nice lines to it. Alright, that's what we'll do. Weird that the Wolverine has, like, big bee antenna. I did not realize that. Alright, so you are all laser and missile weaponry. Well, if we were to run long-range missile weaponry, it would only leave you with 6.5 tons. LRM ammo bins only contain 120 missiles each, so we would want at least 2 of those. So we're talking about 12 tons there, leaving you with 4.5, which is not even enough to mount a large laser. I think it's probably more of a close-range mech. What's the... Stock roll has it with kind of a weird set of weapons. Also 920 armor, so it's definitely designed to be up close. If we don't want to scrape any of the armor off, maybe that's the thing we should keep it doing. We don't have great weapons, to be perfectly honest with you. And a single SRM ammo bin should be more than sufficient. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm thinking the core loadout for this thing, as goofy as it is with the range, is maybe the right move. What if we did double larges? Give you like 3 jump jets? Is a single heatsink the thing we want to do here? This lets it focus damage a little bit better. It's not quite as much overall damage, but, you know, focusing is pretty important. So right now it's alpha striking at plus 18. I'm just going to give it the other jump jets, I think. Average jump heat of 10. No, that's pretty brutal. Let's hold these and put a heatsink in. That'll help a little bit. These are some real backup designs right here. Alright, important tasks. Number 1, most important thing is this. Our new close-range PPC mech. Turns out you can get me to use PPCs. You just have to turn them into a shotgun. "16 days, I think it said. It's not actually enough to do the work we want to do. I think that... Yeah, we probably want to move all of the mechs that used to be in the A-team up in the queue above this other stuff that we aren't actively using. Man, I sure would like to see this this work queue actually clear, you know? So do we want it to be like this? We're going to travel just long enough to get these 2 fixed up, which means that we will have access to Phoenix Hawk, King Crab, and those 2. 5 days later, we would have our riflemen as well. Or we could slow roll it a little bit more and pick up the catapult. It's going to be an easy enough world that we probably can get away with using the Phoenix Hawk. So the Phoenix Hawk's kind of a close mech. Ardlight's a close mech. The Rifleman and the Hoplite are both longer ranged. You know what? This will be fine. This will totally work. So let's go ahead and fly out there to end the episode. Sorry, not this way though. We want to do this via the contract menu so that they pay for our gas. Not that it's a big deal. That's a very valuable mission for how easy it's going to be. So a mid-level Capellan official has decided to personally patrol a moderately dangerous region of the polar planet. Wonderful. Polar region, probably not. It's probably not the case that the whole planet is polar, because that's not how poles work. We've done our best to dissuade her, but she's insistent that she show the people she's willing to take risks on their behalf. Rather than let her stumble around in her family's ancestral griffin until some opportunistic pirate decides to murder her, We'd like for you to escort her and keep her alive. Okay, that sounds pretty doable. I think, given the amount of money on the line here, we might even take this as all priority, or as 0 priority salvage. Just, we're going to a planet with a black market, and we're going to show up without a ton of cash on hand. And it's just a 2.5 skull. The odds that we're going to see valuable salvage are definitely a lot lower. I'm going to take it this way.
Bio command.
Doing everything in our power to improve the effectiveness of our mech techs, because boy oh boy, would it be nice to get some of this stuff out of the build queue. New flashpoint added in Mendham. One of the other flashpoints expired. Listen, we'll get to them. We'll get to all of them, hopefully. We are definitely going to take neutral pay, normal pay, rather, for another month in a row. We'll get morale to 50. You know, in 800 or so days, we'll really start worrying about that. And again, I didn't hire any new pilots on, despite talking about how we could use more pilots, because I am still trying to run our finances a little bit on the lean side. As long as we're still doing a lot of shopping and stuff, it probably behooves us to be paying as little salary as possible while keeping everybody at a nice high resolve generation. But I sure would like some more pilots. Alright, we have a very large and probably far more effective than necessary lance here, which I'm excited about. Let's take a quick look at the store before we call it for the day. So that's an entire catapult C4. Sort of wish I'd bought that K2 part now. We have a Highlander 733P in the... This is just the normal store. We're not even looking at the black market yet. One entire Highlander 733... Jaeger mech part that wouldn't be bad to have. A Kintaro's a fine mech. Ooh, comm systems. Obviously, we already are running one of those, but it would be cool to have more. Range finders, extra view distance. Heat sinks, heat banks. Yeah, heat sinks are not interesting. Heat banks are interesting. Also another exchanger, potentially interesting. Where is my comm system? I'm realizing I don't actually know. Was it in the crab? Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because we knew we were going to be using the crab a lot. Okay, the black market part of the store. What other magic awaits us? Okay, entire mechs that we definitely can't afford. 6 pieces of a battle master. That could be a thing that happens. We don't have enough of a banshee for it to matter. Don't we have a whole bunch of pieces of a 10Q? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe we have one of each. Stalker parts, javelin parts. Okay. An extended range large laser plus -1 ton. So 50 damage in 4 tons. Yo, that's extremely interesting. Optimal 330, max 570. That information's also right here. I didn't really need the tooltip. Yeah, there's definitely some compelling weaponry here. Ooh. Small pulse laser. 45 damage. I mean, small laser ranges, of course. Another one of these very good snub PPCs. Oh, no, wait, this one's minus heat rather than plus damage. Tag. I would like to have another tag system. Okay, so there's some compelling stuff here. I would say that our goal, very obviously, is to complete a Battle Master, which is going to run us somewhere in the neighborhood of 5.2. That's going to be a little more like 5.4 million. We might be able to put that together, given the amount of money we're making off of the first contract we're going to do here. Let's see what the rest of the contract board looks like. Plus, it only does this super slow load thing the first time, so we can get this out of the way right now so we don't have to deal with it at the beginning of the next episode. Yeah, there's 2 other jobs that have more than 1 million C-bill payouts. So we're going to have to take, like, no priority salvage at any point during this, but we might actually be able to get there. I bet we're going to end up trashing our pirate rep, though, aren't we? Yeah. well, I might be willing to trash my pirate rep for a Battlemaster, although it's worth remembering that trashing our pirate rep will probably increase the price of the pieces. Yeah, our store markup is going to increase. Oh, also, apparently we hit 100 Free Worlds League rep. To be perfectly honest with you, the Free Worlds League is a pretty decent group to ally with, but I don't know that we want to piss off the Capellans right this second, right before we're about to work with them, because obviously at Friendly we are receiving a little bit of a payout bonus. I don't know. We'll think about this. That doesn't have to be a thing we do right this second. But that is going to have to be it for us for today. We are out of time. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm so excited about getting to use our new big terrifying mechs, so come back next time to see what manner of havoc we can wreak. And we'll see you then.